Hey there, Blackhawks. I'm Eugene Belsky, and welcome to this edition of BHS-TV News. We've got a packed show for you, covering everything from school events to our new principal. Let's kick things off with the latest headlines. Bloomfield Hills High School has a new principal, and our own Abel Duchateau sat down with him.
It's up to students. I prefer either Dr. Hartley, Mr. Hartley, or Principal Hartley, but any of those three will work for me.
First, let's find out a little bit more about his work history.
So I've been in education for 21 years. I got my start as a high school teacher. I taught high school social studies, mostly government and economics. I taught AP government. During my time as a teacher, I was a soccer coach, both boys and girls varsity soccer, JV soccer, was a student council, student leadership sponsor during my time there, and really enjoyed high school teaching. From there, I had the opportunity to return to my hometown of Dearborn, Michigan, and was an assistant principal at a middle school for a few years before becoming an elementary principal in Dearborn. So, got a lot of good experience at both the middle and elementary level, and from there had the opportunity to go to the Grosse Pointe Public School District, where I got a middle school principal job, and I did that for 7 years. And for the last 2 years, I've had the opportunity to work in central office, so kind of overseeing all of the high school and middle school programming for curriculum and instruction. So basically, what gets taught within our schools and how we teach it was my primary responsibility, and then how we measure it. So, working with teachers on teaching strategies, on curriculum that gets taught in the class, and then looking at assessment data to see how we're doing and how we can get better and all that kind of work. So I think that's helped me kind of get a big picture perspective, so that now as I come back into a high school principal role, I've got a pretty well-rounded experience. I know kind of where students come from the elementary and middle school days. I know from a big picture standpoint kind of what teaching and learning and what the big components of that are. So I hope to kind of bring all that expertise and experience to this role here at Bloomfield Hills High School.
This is what he wants to do to improve BHHS.
I think just creating a culture where and again, I think this exists in a lot of ways already. I think the thing I want to put out there first is that Bloomfield Hills High School is not broken. There's a lot of great things that are already going on. So just kind of getting everybody moving in the same direction, in making this a place where every student feels like they belong, like they're supported, like they have a place, like they have staff members that they can go to, where students want to come to school and enjoy being at school. And the same goes for staff. I want teachers to come and have this be a place where they enjoy coming to work, and where they enjoy working with one another, where they connect with students in achieving kind of that first goal, and where parents and families feel comfortable sending their kids, that they feel confident that it's a place that their children and their students are going to be safe, they're going to be supported, they're going to be challenged in order to achieve what it is that each individual student wants to achieve. So the goal is to get everybody moving in the same direction around that. A lot of the talk we've had with students so far this year has kind of been reconnecting with our cornerstones around relationships, around ownership and responsibility, around authentic learning and innovation, things that kind of this place was founded on when the new high school opened 10 years ago, and just kind of continuing the good work that's been going on, but I think mostly just get everybody moving in the same direction.
Here's what he likes most about our school so far.
In general, I love, after being in central office for a couple of years, just being back in a building. I love the energy, I love the school spirit, I love just the Black Hawk community. I think the warm welcome I've gotten from students so far, just coming up and saying hi in the hallway, or kind of talking about what they're enjoying most about high school, or even what we could be better on. So just kind of having those conversations, and I think having the ability to create an environment that supports students in the school is what I enjoy most. So, I know I'm just kind of getting started, but those are the moments that I've been enjoying the most so far.
And we just had to ask, is he really a doctor?
So I have a Doctor of Educational Leadership. So I have a Doctor of Education, it's called an EDD. So there are a bunch of different doctoral degrees. So like most, what people know are MDs and DOs, those are medical doctors. I am not one of those. So don't come to me for medical advice. But within the field of education, there's typically a PhD, a Doctor of Philosophy, or an EDD, a Doctor of Education. So mine is the latter. So I've still gone to school for a long time, studying primarily educational leadership, so organizational leadership, how to move organizations forward and unite people and bring them together around common goals and practices. So, I've gone to, I've gotten a master's degree, a specialist degree, and a doctoral degree, all in kind of that area. So yes, I am a real doctor, but I am not a medical doctor.
Thank you, Abel. We here at BHS-TV News are looking forward to seeing the great things Dr. Hartley has in store for us. I don't know a lot about sports, and I really don't know a lot about pop music, but I do know a lot about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. The two have been rumored to be dating for the past few weeks. This news has set America to blaze, with football games selling out to people who never watched football before, watching it to support a man that has not confirmed his relationship with the one and only T. Swift. Bloomfield Hills High School offers a variety of clubs. Abel Duchateau went around during the annual BHS Club Fair and talked to some hosts about their clubs. Let's hear what they had to say.
Let's find out what these clubs are all about.
We're Black Student Alliance, and what's unique about us is that we focus on specifically issues happening with the Black community in our school, and we do different events like fundraising, we do different social events, we do different volunteering and stuff like that.
This is Bloomfield Hills DECA. It's really unique. It's really the only club that we have here that allows students to engage in business principles, management, marketing, finance, stuff like that in a competitive environment. So you're going to be meeting with people during competitions from outside BH in the state of Michigan and the world if you make it to the international competition. So it really gives students an opportunity to kind of like learn business components and compete, which is really unique.
Community Service Club, and it gives opportunities for community service hours and experiences that you would not get in any other club or group.
Science Olympiad. It's one of the only clubs in the school that's competitive and science-based for STEM lovers, and it allows students to enhance their science skills they learn in school and also learn about other people who compete in it from other schools as well.
The name of the club is Hawkapella, and I find it unique because it's just a real sense of community. Everybody there just wants to have fun and sing, and it's really nice.
Now I bet you're wondering what people do in these clubs. So let's ask them.
It's definitely a space for everyone, and specifically Black students in our school, to feel safe and to have a community. And again, we do a lot of events within our own club. We try to collab with other BSAs. We do collab with other clubs in the school. We had a movie night last year, so we do a lot of fun stuff like that.
It's a combination of business and forensics is typically how people like to describe it. You essentially go into competitions. That's kind of the main core of the club. And depending on your event, you'll be asked questions. You give a presentation, and then that will be scored by judges. And then depending on how well you do, you place, and you start at the district competition, then you go to the state competition, and then the international competition.
It's like the science but Olympics, as the name suggests, Science Olympiad. There's 23 different events, and each person competes in about 3, and they have about 5 or 4 months to prepare, and then they go compete at regionals at the beginning of March.
Ooh, I would describe it as, it's a real community. Like, you go in there and we work on a song for a period of time until we perform it, and we really dive into the technique of the vocals.
Let's hear how all these clubs got started.
Our club got started a while before I came here, but I'm pretty sure it was started so that minority students had a place to feel safe.
I don't really know why it got started. It's kind of a really big organization that we're lucky to have a chapter of at our school. I think it got started just because we have a lot of people who are passionate about business, passionate about administration, and a lot of people who are looking to kind of like, expand into that sphere while meeting people from all over the world. It also looks great on your resume. So if you want to do it, it looks great on the resume, especially if you win. So yeah, come give it a try. It's a lot of fun.
I did this club in middle school, and I knew that they ran it in the high school division. So I joined it in freshman year. And
this club actually got started my freshman year. I'm a junior now. It was me and a couple group of friends talked to Mrs. Riley, the choir director, and we thought that an a cappella group would be a really cool thing to add to the choir. And yeah.
I think other students should join because I think it's a great opportunity to get to know your other fellow students a lot closer outside of school and to maybe hear about issues that you wouldn't normally hear about in a school setting.
I think it's a really good way for you to learn about science and also like develop your passions, because nowadays everyone's just kind of like trying everything, and this is just another thing you should try.
And this is where you go if you want to join.
Our club usually takes place either in the Knowledge Market or upstairs in B community, and we don't have a specific time yet, but it's usually during the week on Mondays or Tuesdays.
So our meetings are pretty low-key. We only have a few before competitions. It'll be a little bit different this year because we're going to have some more management techniques that we're going to be implementing, but the meetings are really low-key, not too much of a time commitment. The biggest thing is going to be the competitions. The district competition is going to be in December, states is in March, and internationals is going to be end of April. So that's kind of like the big time obligations for the club right there.
Club meets on Tuesday mornings, like once or twice a month on Tuesday mornings in Main Street.
We meet every other Wednesday in GG23 at 7:10 a.m.
Club takes place in the choir room every other Tuesday morning at 7:15.
A lot of these clubs seem like so much fun, and if you ever want to look at the list of clubs and organizations, they are always available on the Bloomfield Hills High School website. For unique news this week, a 104-year-old woman by the name of Dorothy Hoffner went skydiving in Chicago. Dorothy was aiming to get the Guinness World Record for oldest female to skydive. After touching down, she tells reporters on the scene, age is just a number. Up next, our latest episode of Abel's Academy.
Hello everybody, I'm Abel Duchateau, and this is the first episode of Abel's Academy of the year. For new students who don't know and returning students who don't remember, during Abel's Academy, I talk about the relatively unknown histories of things we think we might know a lot about. Today's episode is no different because we'll be talking about candy. In today's lesson, you'll hear everything from the very first candies to the beginning of Hershey's chocolate and also exploding kids. Oh, that can't be right. That can't be right. Yep, it says it right there, exploding kids. Anyways, the first candies ever made were made by cultures in the Middle East and China for religious purposes. They were fruits and nuts caramelized by honey. Licorice has also been around since ancient Egypt. The type of licorice that pharaohs ate were made by a plant with an ancient Greek word that I cannot pronounce, but it translates to sweet root. Over time, candy has changed and adapted to become closer to what we know today, but candy only became a staple in the American food industry during the late 1800s, with one really big name solidifying its importance in America. Milton S. Hershey founded the famous chocolate company in 1893 after seeing chocolate processing machines made by Germans at the World's Fair and decided to go into the chocolate business. In 1903, Hershey's became such a big business that Milton bought land in Derry Township, Pennsylvania, and made a new chocolate factory. There were so many workers at this factory that an unincorporated community formed around the factory called Hershey, or Hersheytown. They could have been a little bit more creative with that name, but I guess it stuck because it's still around today and can be visited by people like a tourist attraction. Now let's go a little bit more retro modern. Pop Rocks have been a classic candy since the 60s and really popped into the mainstream in the 70s when dyes were used to make them more colorful. All they are simple crystallized sugar rocks with a little bit of carbon gas trapped inside them, kind of like a powdered soda. There were even rumors of a child who exploded because he ate too much Pop Rocks and Pepsi. The urban legend got so big that the FDA set up a hotline to answer questions of many concerned parents. This caused the candy to go off the shelves in the mid-80s. They've since been brought back, and we can thank, in large part, the Mythbusters, who disproved this rumor in their very first episode. I think common sense also played a part in this candy's return. But as you can see, candy has been a large part of the American culture for over 200 years, as well as other cultures before our own. From the ancient Egypts to the poor kids who couldn't get their favorite candy because their mom thought they'd blow up. Candy has been an everlasting product that has not only changed with time, but also changed with us. I'm Abel Duchateau with BHS-TV News, and this has been your latest episode of Abel's Academy. Thank you.
Well, that's a wrap for this edition of BHS-TV News. I am Eugene Belsky. I hope you enjoyed the updates and feel even more connected to our amazing school community. Remember, if you have any news or stories you want us to feature, don't hesitate to reach out and email us at bhstvnews@bloomfield.org. We love sharing your experiences and achievements. Thanks for tuning in, Blackhawks. Until next time, stay informed, stay awesome, and have a fantastic day.